In 2015, I experienced a sudden, quite potent interest in collecting and discovering old games I'd missed. Not that I'd ever been disinterested in old games, quite the contrary, but for the first time I had more interest in old games than new ones. There were a number of factors, such as disillusionment with the current state of the gaming industry, which has continued to this day, but that was the point at which I started seriously collecting older games and making frequent trips to the used game store. One of the first things I bought at the start of this was Geist, knowing nothing about it.
Don't worry, everything is fine. In fact, everything is perfect. You have ascended to something greater than what you were. Explore your new surroundings. You're safe and free. The world
is peaceful.
Reload your weapon. This is Kill Them, your new
Kill them all.
Home.
Which I ended up enjoying so much that it was a major contributor to this renewed interest in old stuff.
Yes, it is rather impressive, that can.
Why did somebody smear diarrhea on the barcode? Red Faction and its sequel were also among the first things I bought back then, and I still haven't gotten to them, so they've been sitting on my shelf since 2015. I've never played either of them, but I did play Red Faction Guerrilla when it was new, and it blew my mind at the time. That level of detailed destruction mechanics was something I had never seen before, and my teenage self thought that was the coolest thing ever, and honestly, Guerrilla still holds up in that way. Of course, there was Battlefield Bad Company around the same time, but its destruction is just not nearly on the same level and all feels very canned. Sure, you can break a lot of shit, but it all clearly breaks in predetermined ways. Stuff is separated into chunks, and each chunk disappears when it receives enough damage, and importantly, the chunks break the same way every time. And the general clutter items explode into nothingness if you gently push them against another surface, which has always amused me. You also can't level buildings because the interior walls are invincible.
What the hell was that?
Bad Company 2 lets you level buildings, but it feels really scripted. Once you've done enough damage, the animation plays. Red Faction Guerrilla is just on a completely different level. As is the DMM, or Digital Molecular Matter, in The Force Unleashed, which I thought was going to be the future of gaming, and I'm still bummed that it didn't become commonplace. It's been used a lot for effects in movies, and its creators won an Academy Award, but it never really took off in games, so it's now kind of just an oddity in The Force Unleashed and its sequel, and I wanted to see it in every game ever made after that. The way it could do glass, in particular, is fantastic and still looks good, with the caveat that it despawns very quickly, unfortunately. But forget all of that, because we're going back to 2001, and the difficult thing to express here, if you weren't there, is just how novel the notion of real-time destruction was. Keep in mind, this is before even simple physics engines were a standard feature. This is 3 years before Half-Life 2, and that game didn't have environmental destruction or terrain deformation, so much as just putting physics-enabled solid objects in the environment. You still couldn't make your own door in a wall, for example. So it's hard to overstate how exciting this would have been at the time. Of course, it's impossible to experience that excitement now, since we live in a world where destruction, terrain deformation, and physics engines have been around for a long time, and this obviously won't hold up to something like Guerrilla, which itself is over a decade old. That being said, I am very familiar with the capabilities of the PS2 and the kinds of things you tend to see in PS2 games, so I can still put myself in the mindset of the era, and I'm curious to see this in that regard. Here's to hoping this disc actually works, because seeing this as I did buy this in 2015, I'm a little past my 14-day return period. Not that I paid much for it at the time. It wouldn't be the end of the world if I had to buy another copy. Nice to see them modify their logo to suit the game. That was kind of cool. And we're straight into the menu, like, amazingly fast. Okay, so we have options. I like going here first. Controls, jump L1, crouch L2. That's interesting. Jump and crouch on the shoulders is pretty unusual. Mirror's Edge does that. Holster left, triangle reload, next weapon, previous weapon, fine aim, center view, message lock. This is exceedingly non-standard, and I'm not sure I like it. I'm liking the music so far, though. X has to be, jump. Crouch, I'll make circle. Use can be triangle. Reload should be square. So L1, L2 for previous and next weapon. I'm okay with that. Actually, no. Fine aim mode. Let's make that L1. I'm assuming that's an aim down sight zoom in thing. Next weapon up. Previous weapon down. Holster left. Message log right. Yeah, that's acceptable, I think. Advanced controls. Analog sticks. Walk and sidestep, pitch and turn. Yeah, or you can go southpaw and then, ooh, old school. Tank controls. Walk and turn on the left. Ooh, no. No. Invert Y. No, fuck off. And I want my axes the same sensitivity. Or closer to the same. I don't like it when they're different in games. Game settings. Crosshair on, weapon sway, auto aim, HUD messages, vibration, weapons and environment. Sure, those are all fine. Weapon prefs. Auto switching. No, never. Weapon switching should never, ever exist in anything ever. And if you're a game developer that's put auto weapon switch in your game, go fuck yourself. Stereo sound on. Unfortunately, this game does not support surround sound, it would look. This is a pretty early PS2 game. So this was still when a lot didn't support ProLogic. Or, well, ProLogic 2. Save, yes. Might as well. What do we have for extras? Credits, Summoner trailer, MX 2002. Well, I've never played Summoner, although I have played a bit of Summoner 2. Or more specifically, Summoner A Goddess Reborn, which is the GameCube port that came a little bit later. I don't know why I'm actually watching this. This isn't Red Faction, but I'm curious. I've never seen this trailer. I don't really know much about Summoner 1, to be honest. Other than I can tell from this footage, it looks quite stiff. Although it kind of looks awesome. This is very, oh man, this just shrieks Turn of the Millennium game, and I kind of love it. I kind of have a soft spot for games from this era. And that's a pretty cool font, too. But not a very exciting trailer, to say the least. The music is, not very energetic, and it's mixed very flat. There's no dynamics to it at all. And, I didn't really learn much from that. What is MX 2002? As in, like, motocross? Oh, yes. Featuring Ricky Carmichael and... Oh, no. Oh, no, the disc is showing trouble here. Let's not do that. Don't do this to me. Oh, this doesn't bode well for the game. Oh, no, it's not letting me skip it. It's actually frozen. Oh, this is a great start. Okay, give me a sec. You know, it's weird because the disc actually looks really fine. I mean, it doesn't look perfect, but as far as shit I get from the used game store goes, it's actually really not bad. I've seen much worse play just fine. I mean, what is it about people? I mean, I don't think there's any greater testament to how fundamentally fucked humanity is in terms of how just horrifically stupid people are than the fact that there are people who can't handle optical discs without damaging them. Like, what is so fucking hard to figure out about don't touch the shiny side? Handle by the edges. Like, a fucking caveman could figure that shit out, and yet modern humans can't. Should I do training, or is training going to be implemented in the actual game? Like, let's go ahead and just do training. Although the other thing I don't like about training is it might give me spoilers for the kind of gear we'll have.
This is the training phase of your Red Faction probationary period.
Oh no. I just realized my vertical sensitivity is much higher than my horizontal sensitivity because the way it's set up in the options is that when your vertical sensitivity is lower than the X sensitivity on the slider, they're actually equal. So by making the sliders equal, I've actually made the Y sensitivity much higher. That makes no sense.
If you survive, you'll be ready to help lead the minor rebellion against Altar when the time comes. Some doors open as you approach.
Doors opening by themselves? I love 2007.
First of all, my X sensitivity is way too low. So I'm going to up it a bit and leave the Y lower, which should, in theory, make them similar. Oh yeah, see, that's fine. Yeah, so now X and Y are about the same, even though these sliders are clearly in very different positions.
Others, like this airlock door, require you to press a button to open. If the button doesn't work, the door's locked. You'll have to find the access card or control to unlock it.
Alright. Highlights sort of like Deus Ex. We have a pretty wide FOV, which is nice. That one's clearly locked.
Keep an eye on your suit's gauges, which are in the upper left corner of your HUD. The outer ring is
What's
your
a
suit's
HUD?
integrity. If it gets to 0, you suffer damage when you're outside.
Okay. Is the door unlocked now? Oh, I just had to wait for him to say that.
The inner ring is your health. When it gets to 0, you're dead.
Fair enough. Horseplay means death. I'll make sure not to fuck any horses. Tell your friends Ultor is the place to work.
Practice climbing on the fence, girders, and ladder in your envirosuit.
I can climb fences? Oh, dude. Oh, that's awesome. I could just straight up climb a chain link fence, and actually quite fast, too. Okay, so while you're on it, pressing up goes up, as you'd expect. Looking down and pushing forward goes down, so just like a ladder in most games. Although pressing back actually makes you move away from it, rather than go down.
When you're done, climb up the ladder and go through the door.
So what they gave you instead is the jump button goes up and the crouch button goes down. Okay. That way you can just go straight up and down without it being completely camera relative. Now, instinctually, I already know this is probably going to screw me because instinctually, I want to, when I'm looking up like this, I want forward to be go up, which it is, but I want backward to be go down, and it's not. It's move away from the fence, which I have a feeling is going to make me accidentally let go of a ladder that I'm way up on at some point later in the game, which is going to be less than ideal, to say the least. Oh, and I take damage when I fall. So if I go over gently, and I kind of sort of crouch. Aha, okay. That's how you would do that without taking fall damage. So far, I'm loving the way this game looks. It's given me a
Get used to that.
Half-Life-y sort of
You'll
feel.
hear alarms a lot once we strike back at Altor.
Oh god, I love nothing more than listening to a repetitive alarm sound effect. High risk, high pay, high adventure. My god, that man is high on life. And also looks like the Volition logo. Await instructions. No one's saying anything.
Step into the security control room to learn how to use a monitor.
I guess I wasn't supposed to await instructions. Go up to a monitor and press triangle. Okay. Viewing from main airlock, water purification. Checkpoint 3. Checkpoint. I don't know why it is. I can never see the word checkpoint without in my head hearing the checkpoint voiceover from the Emperor's New Groove PS1 game.
Checkpoint.
It's just burned into my memory for some reason, and I don't even really know why, because I actually did not play that game all that much growing up. It's not like it's a childhood favorite of mine that I played a lot.
Pretend the barrels are guards and take them out with this turret.
Walk up to the turret, press triangle, control, fire to shoot. Alright. Oh my. It's quite violent. Well, the feedback here is quite good. I like seeing the casings ejected. That always helps a gun feel powerful in a video game when it's showering brass everywhere. Unfortunately, they do just fade out and fall through the floor. Oh, I just realized I have limited ammo. I was assuming it was infinite, because turrets usually are.
Nothing more to shoot here, Parker. Keep moving.
My name is Parker? Okay. Isn't that the name of one of the regions? That's the name of the first region in Red Faction Guerrilla. But yeah, great feedback on that. The screen shake is nice, the particle effects looked pretty good, and it's showering brass out. I mean, yeah. It's a good feeling turret for the era.
There's a medic in the room to your right. Medics are sworn to heal anyone, even rebels.
This'll take just a second.
Oh my god, look at the size of that needle. Oh, actually, I thought 35 was my... I had 35 health, so I assumed that was full, but apparently 99 is. So I started this training heavily wounded.
If you ever need to hide a body, pick it up, carry it somewhere out of the way, and dump it.
Oh man, I can't tell you how many times I've needed to hide a body. Thanks for the advice. Sweet dreams.
If you've been injured or your suit's been damaged, check containers, medical cabinets, and lockers for med packs and suit repair kits.
To a container and press use to open it. Oh man, this is feeling very Half-Life. And that's not a bad thing. Oh, and that sound effect for picking medkits up. That is a sound effect you can hear in... That's in Jedi Outcast, actually. For, like, picking up... I believe it's for picking up medkits, yeah. Or possibly certain types of ammo.
Practice jumping across this small gap.
Okay, my jump's pretty floaty. Which I guess makes sense if we're on Mars. Usually that's a sign of bad physics in games, when things feel floaty, but it's actually apropos here.
Ask nicely, and the miner will open the door for you.
Good sir. Would you be a delightful gentleman and open this door for me? That would enrich my life most profusely. Why, thank you, good sir. Have a nice day.
Like the sub? We stole it from Altar.
Well, I mean, it's a sub.
Climb in and take it for a ride, in case you have to drive a vehicle after we launch the revolt.
So I can swim, and again, jump and crouch, go up and down, independent of which... Oh, not independent of which way the camera is facing. Okay. If I'm looking down, yeah, jump goes forward and crouch goes backward. I have to say, the swim controls actually feel really good. Like, it's not soupy at all. This is totally... I feel completely in control. And this uses the same controls, it would seem. So actually, yeah, this feels totally fine.
Fire some torpedoes to get a feel for it.
Well, I only have 20, so... Oh, holy shit. I can actually just chip these away. It's laggy as hell when it happens, but that is so fucking cool. And it actually just...
Head for the other tunnel when you're ready to continue.
Bites away chunks of it. Yeah, see, we have little errors like this, where you have kind of the extraneous bit that feels like it should have broken off. Can I do the ground? I can. Wow. In 2001, I'd have shit my pants seeing that. Well, I guess if I played this in 2001, I'm not sure I would have thought all that much of it, because I would be quite young in 2001. But if I was, you know, the age I am now, or especially if I was a teenager in 2001, that would be the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. Clearly not just a predetermined, destroyed state of the stalactites and columns there, because it was like you could like continually chip more away at it, like that was actually procedural. To elaborate a little bit on why this is impressive, I want to compare it to a contemporary. And so I have Half-Life here. Technically this is Half-Life Source, which came a little bit later, but the destruction works the same way. This isn't exactly a contemporary. Half-Life is actually 3 years older, but they're roughly from the same era. And it's a good example of how destruction was done at the time. So, to start with, we can look at this vending machine here, and you can break the front of this, because it's glass. So, I can hit it, say, dead center, and you'll note, the glass shatters. All those bits come out, they fall out differently each time, but the actual broken part of it is exactly the same every time. We have this little triangle there, we have this little triangle in the bottom left, and we have this longer, pointier shard in the top left. If I reload the game and do that again, but hit it somewhere else, say in the bottom right, it's exactly the same. We still have that triangle in the middle, that triangle in the lower left, and that longer, pointier one in the top left. The location that I hit it has no impact on the nature in which it breaks. It is this destroyed state is predetermined, and it simply turns into this predetermined damaged state when it receives damage, regardless of where or what that damage is. If I shot it with a gun, exactly the same thing happens. You have those same broken pieces. And again, the bits falling is different. Another great example would be these ceiling sections. They break away so these barnacles can attack you. But it simply breaks. This predetermined section just disappears when you hit it enough. Same thing with this one. I can just... Sorry about that, bud. There we go. Regardless of how you shoot it or where you shoot it, that whole section just disappears. And these shards on the edge here are, of course, predetermined. There's nothing procedural happening here. It is not chipping away geometry based on the specific location you hit it. It's just switching to its destroyed state when you've damaged it enough. This trash can is another great example. You can break these. And it's kind of location specific, because you can like break the top of it, and then each of the sides can be broken, and it does break the side you hit. So it's a little bit location specific, but the reality is the exact way in which you hit it really makes no difference. You can't, for example, break half of a side. You can only break the entire side because that's the chunk. So whether I hit it in the top left, the top right, or etc., it doesn't actually matter. That chunk just goes away. Well, that's really how destruction was largely done at the time. So that's why I'm so impressed in Red Faction when I fire a missile at a column or a stalactite and it actually carves away a section that really does conform to where the blast radius of the torpedo actually was. It's clearly not a predetermined carved out section that appears because it actually varies based on whether you hit the left side of the column or the right side of it. It is actually location specific based on the real placement of the blast radius of your torpedo. And that really was unprecedented at the time.
The gauge in the upper right of your HUD shows how much ammo you have left.
I don't have an upper right. Oh, the subtitle covers it. Oh, we're doing the Half-Life thing where I have to hit fire to switch. Press Alt-Fire to exit without selecting weapon. Oh, that's cool. I can just cancel the menu.
Sometimes it pays to be inconspicuous. Holstering your weapon will help you blend in, since guns make people jumpy.
please!
That's an interesting mechanic. People don't like you pointing guns at them. That's a thing surprisingly few shooters bother to do. Most shooters, you can just run around with your gun out, because there's no way...
Be sure to destroy all the bottles.
Because there's no way to put your gun away, so you're always just running around pointing it at people and they don't care. Like you're having conversations with your gun out. Okay, so what do we have? Ooh. Ooh. Good rate of fire. Okay. Oh, and they actually say magazine instead of clip. Bonus points. Sounds not amazing, but the feedback is nice. It's got a decent recoil to it. It kicks the brass really high, so you get a good look at it. Okay, the sniper rifle sounds pretty good.
Nothing more to shoot here, Parker. Keep moving.
Although it has no recoil in the scope, which is actually a little bit disappointing because it makes it feel less powerful than if, the screen shook. Like when you're not scoped in, you have a lot of recoil. Oh, there's no sound for that second hit on the mag. Or is there? It's like a... Yeah, there's just like a little very, very light tap sound. It's a bit weak, but otherwise it's not bad. Appropriate for the era. Okay, pressing fire does not draw a gun. You actually have to hit the holster button. Okay. I was hoping with that holstered I could just hammer the fire button to pull it out, but you can't. Man. Fantastic rate of fire on the pistol. Can I fuck these trash cans? Holy crap, I can. Now see, that's more of a, that's a canned break apart thing. That's more what I was expecting the destruction in this game to look like. Can I break these? It would seem not. Yeah, apparently tables are indestructible, but trash cans aren't.
Reinforced glass is unbreakable. Go ahead. Shoot it.
Challenge accepted, motherfucker. Oh my god, he was telling the truth. How could I have known?
Normal glass can be shattered by weapon fire, allowing you into the room beyond.
Ooh. Oh. Okay, the origin point is actually where I shoot it. Okay. It's not just totally canned. It's a shame the whole thing breaks. When instead of just having a hole, I don't need to chip it away. I just make a hole and then it all breaks. Although it's staying here. That's kind of shocking. Debris like this usually despawns almost instantly. Even in games made much, much later than this. Like, it's still here. Look at this. Holy shit.
Use these to blow a hole in the wall at the X.
Rocket launcher. Excellent. Oh, and what was that I said on the back about one of our weapons of mass destruction is going to be a pistol? Totally fucking called that, didn't I? Unleash 15 weapons of mass destruction. What do you want to bet one of the 15 weapons in the game is a shitty little pistol that we use for 5 minutes until we get something better? It's calling it a 12mm pistol. That is humongous. 12.7mm would be 50 caliber, so 12mm is a big bullet. Although, presumably with a still short case, given that it's a pistol. Doesn't specify the size of the sniper rifle round, though. Probably smaller. Well, smaller caliber, larger case. Can I blow these pillars up? Oh, yeah. Oh, and you can see the steel beam inside. Oh, that's fucking awesome. There is that horrible lag. Like it stutters while it's loading the new model. That's a shame, but that would not have mattered to me in 2001. My god, that glass is still here. See, that stone despawned right away. If I blow this up, this debris lands and then very quickly goes away. That's what I would expect the glass to do, and it still hasn't. Does it get blown away if I... Holy shit, it does! Oh, this is so fucking cool. It's a shame I didn't play this in 01. I'd have had to change my pants by now. Although somehow the glass, I guess, clipped through this door and got blown all the way in here. Oh, here's a question. Is that door indestructible? Yes, it is. Figures. I did notice a thing here. When you have your weapon holstered, previous weapon and next weapon don't do anything, so you can't actually unholster a weapon by selecting a new one. You have to unholster, and then you can select a different one. That I don't like.
Congratulations. You've passed the Red Faction training session.
Hell yeah. I'm impressed, and I am totally on board, and I am now very much looking forward to playing this game, because this is some good shit so far. So, let's do this. Easy, medium, hard, impossible. Impossible's probably not a great idea. Normally, I tend to play games on hard, but the thing is, this is a fairly old game, and older games tend to be harder, so it might actually be fairly difficult even on medium, but I'm going to go ahead and roll the dice. I'm going to play it on hard.
Mars. I always thought of it as a romantic place. A planet of mystery and adventure.
And dirt, as far as the eye can see.
Came here 6 months ago thinking it would be an escape from Earth. I wanted some time to think, to figure out what to do with my life. A year in the Altor mine sounded like a great way to straighten myself out.
Really? You want to find yourself and your solution is backbreaking labor?
Life in the mines is hell.
Well,
I
yeah.
haven't had a minute to myself since I got here.
I can't even wank in peace.
Room, time sharing your bunks. Conditions are barely livable, and the guards are everywhere.
And they have really blurry faces.
We live or die. We're at the breaking
Wait, why wouldn't they care if you die? They're not going to make any money if their workers are dead.
Off miners left and right. When the guy next to you dies before your eyes and your turn could come any minute, it freaks you out.
Again, wouldn't it be in the company's best interest to keep their workers alive?
Miners don't know.
Oh my god, those hips.
Someone named Eos is putting up pamphlets in the barracks, claiming that Ultor is responsible for the plague. The pamphlets urge miners to be ready to revolt against Ultor. A lot of miners are
That walk cycle is incredibly strange.
As bad as things are in the barracks, they're brutal down in the mines. You spend 10 hours drenched in your own sweat in the enviro suit, grinding away at rock walls.
Well, did you think mining would be anything different?
They enjoy their work way too much. You get out of the driller after your shift's over and all you've done is dig yourself in a little deeper.
That's pretty much the concept of mining there, bro.
Doing this.
Man, I don't know what to do with my life. I should become a miner. Oh my god, this is miserable. So unfortunately, I can't relate to our main character because apparently he's an idiot.
Second work shift has ended. Miners return to barracks.
Okay.
Come on, Parker. Shift's over.
It's a little bit dark. What's in here?
Hey, where do you think you're going?
I'm going over here.
It's been a long day. It's about to get a little longer, mine scum. Just let me go, or else. You threatening me?
Oh, I guess there's nothing there. I think there's plot development happening over here. Oh! Oh my god. What?
Disturbance in mine sector
no.
M4. Code yellow alert.
There was some sort of altercation with that other miner that I missed because I was going up that, dark hole, and now they want me dead too.
Need help here?
And I have a stun baton, which apparently is considered a weapon of mass destruction. Not what I would call a stun baton, but okay. Or excuse me, control baton. Ooh, that's quite a generous auto-aim. I might want to turn that off. That's a bit old school for my liking. GoldenEye generous. Now, in GoldenEye that made sense because the aiming was very stiff with an old N64 analog stick. Perfect Dark did it as well. Well, actually, for that matter, basically all shooters on the N64 had crazy generous auto-aim because the analog stick was not amazing, and the way we did acceleration curves and sensitivity back then was very primitive, and so it was very hard to aim precisely with an analog stick back then. Not like now, where we've gotten so good at analog stick sensitivity and dead zone and acceleration curves that you really can do quite smooth, responsive shooters with an analog stick. I was gonna go check over here.
Damn guards, I hate them, I hate them, I hate them!
I think you got him. I'll just be taking this pistol and, being on my way. Legend says he's still punching that poor bastard to this day. Also, why does punching somebody wearing a helmet work? So, do I go this way or the other way? I'm gonna go back this way, I guess. That's a guard station. That's probably the way I'm supposed to go. So then what's over here? Anyway, my point was that I don't feel like I need this really generous auto-aim. Because actually it's just throwing me off because my crosshair is moving, which is weirding me out. So yeah, I'm going to turn that off. I would much prefer it just pulled my shots rather than actually moved the crosshair. Which is of course how auto-aim works now. I have noticed a problem with the pistol, which is that it has a crap ton of spread.
Party time!
My crosshair is kind of a suggestion.
Additional security required in mine sector M4.
Hey man, they shot first. I know that other guy attacked a guard or whatever, but I was not part of that altercation.
Scum!
Actually, the enemies are so jerky, I might want the auto-aim on. Look at this guy spazzing out all over the place. It might be advantageous to have auto-aim and just, get used to it moving the crosshair around. Because the enemies are really jerky. And it is legitimately slightly too dark. So, I gotta go in here. Up the brightness just a little. Oh yeah, that's better. What do we have in here?
Hey, get over here. We're with the Red Faction. Stick with us. We're heading to the Red Faction base.
Okay. Did they just annihilate the Red Faction guys? Like, 2 Red Faction guys went this way, and now there's just guards coming after me. We're with the Red Faction. You'll want to join us because we're completely ineffectual.
Where's my backup?
I'm out of ammo. I'm going to have to try to hit you with a cattle prod and fly backwards. Okay, you know what? With the really jerky enemies and taking that much damage, I actually am going to drop it to medium. Just for the sake of the videos. Because otherwise I'm going to have to crawl through this game very carefully, which is going to be a bit slow. And for the sake of the video, I'm not going to do that. Especially when I'm at the mercy of the pistol's terrible accuracy. Although now I can watch what happens here.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
Leave me alone, jerk. It's been a long day.
It's about to get a little longer, mine scum.
Just let me go, or else.
Or else?
You threatening me? Yeah, well, threaten this!
What did you think was gonna happen, dude? You totally had that coming. Guy says, where are you going? Just tell him you're going back to the barracks, because that's what you were told to do. Oh, he was trying to give that guy CPR on the back. That's not how that works.
Just you and me, miner!
Well, it was just you and me. And then you died. So if they have these badass looking robots that can mine, what the hell do we do? Like, just build a factory that can crank these things out by the thousands and just have them mine. Why are there people in the mines at all? I mean, not only would that thing probably be better at mining than me swinging a pickaxe, but it's also not gonna... it's not gonna revolt, which is kind of the problem Ultor is currently having.
Miners, this is Eos, leader of the Red Faction. Our time has come. Workers in Mine M4 have started a rebellion. They're fighting and dying for you as I
Just
speak.
you and me, miner!
Find the Red Faction members of Mine. Join us and strike back at Ultor. Together we can...
All miners are ordered to ignore unauthorized announcements and return to their barracks immediately.
Okay, so a few things here. I didn't want to talk over that. Eos is another region in Red Faction Guerrilla, just like Parker, so it's clearly the regions in that game are named after characters in this game, I guess. But also, so she says, there's a revolt happening as we speak, but like, there wasn't like an official start to the revolt. There was just like a worker gave a guard some sass, so the guard attacked him? I mean, I guess that's as good a reason as any to start a revolt, but it's not like he swung the first punch even. Like, the guard gave him some sass, so he gave him some sass back, and it all kind of just got out of hand, but...
Help! Help!
You'd expect a grander sort of official start.
Hey, come with me.
You want to take his weapon?
They're gonna get off Mars and back to Earth. You help me reach the shuttle, and I'll make sure they take you along.
Okay. Do you want to take a weapon? It'd be much easier for me to keep you alive if... Well, so much for that. Clearly he was a buffoon. Also, I'm out of ammo and my bullets aren't hitting them anyway, because this pistol has no accuracy. Because you know it's a weapon of mass destruction. Just like my stun baton, where I now have to get shot while running up at these guys like an idiot and getting interrupted by a really badly placed load screen. Why is this not hitting them? What? But I was right against the guy, beating the shit out of him with the stick, and nothing was happening. I got the guy next to him. Well, hopefully the game gives me real weapons soon, because the Control Baton is a bit shit. It's not that I wasn't close enough, because I was physically contacting his hitbox. I was trying to walk closer and I couldn't.
Yeah, well, threaten this! Stop!
This guy was so badass, he killed a guy wearing a helmet with one punch, though. I mean, that's fucking amazing.
Mine sector M4.
Okay. Trying to save pistol ammo, because clearly you don't get much of it.
Come on, tough guy!
This guy I will kill with the baton to save ammo. Which unfortunately takes a long time to switch to, because we gotta do the whole turning it on and it spinning thing. What good is a self-defense weapon that takes you the same amount of time to pull out as it takes to die?
Oh! I don't deserve to die!
Oh man. You bitch. Fucking fake out. He like surrendered and was running away, so I was gonna stun him instead of killing him, and then he turned around and shot me anyway.
Together we can...
All miners are ordered to ignore unauthorized announcements and return to their...
The actor anticipated the cutoff there. Together we can... Because she knew there was no more to the line. That's a huge pet peeve of mine in acting. If you want a character to be cut off, write the entire line so that they know what they're gonna say next, because if they're mentally anticipating the interruption, they lean into it. Together we can... Like, you can tell that they know the cut's coming. Write the whole line and then just cut it short. It'll sound so much better.
Follow me!
Am I more accurate if I crouch? I'm gonna have to play with that. It looks like if I fire slowly, I'm very accurate. Yeah, okay, so the spread isn't just that the gun has a lot of spread, it does appear to be rate of fire based. So it has reticle bloom, without actually blooming the reticle itself.
Party time!
Which is interesting, reticle bloom was slightly uncommon at this time. Okay, so if I fire slowly... There's a little bit of spread, but they're mostly going where I'm aiming. If I fire quickly... Oh yeah, there's a ton of spread. Okay. I get it now. I was just assuming it had fixed accuracy because I'm not used to games this old having, bloom. Especially when it's not indicated by the crosshair. Is there anything down here? There's a dead guy. There's another dead guy. And there's a rocket launcher. Ooh, I'm glad I went back here. Although I don't think I have any ammo for it. Just what's in it. Who fired that?
Scum!
Oh, I love these taunts.
Don't shoot, I'm unarmed!
You're not unarmed.
Scum!
I don't fucking buy it.
We're heading to the Red Faction base.
Alright. Man, they sure like giving me remote charges. Although maybe I should be blowing up these spots with the X. Is there stuff behind them? Or I guess it's just ways through. I think that's a room I've been in. Although now I can't get back up here and my dudes are getting attacked. I don't think I could save them anyway.
Mercy, please! Better run, miner!
It's a good scream. It's really interesting that they actually run away when you injure them, because that's a thing like almost no shooter does, which is actually a thing that's always kind of been an annoyance I have with shooters, is that no one ever fucking runs away. Now, it kind of bothers me that it's a fake-out runaway, where they just run a little ways and then turn around and start shooting you again anyway.
Don't do it, please!
Like, look at that.
Cover me!
I mean, they stop immediately, which is really silly, but that they're making any effort at all to run is quite novel.
Help! Better run, Miner!
And this is the load screen, so this time I'm going to take these guys out from a distance, because I actually have ammo this time. Oh, okay, you need to stop. Stop it. Stop it. I think these rockets are comically slow. Oh, did he run out? Interesting. Looks like enemies can run out of ammo. That's another thing you don't see games doing all that often. There is a very odd-looking skeleton. What even is that? Apparently we have creatures on Mars. Well, 5 rockets picked up. I guess he ran out of ammo, but still dropped some.
Where's my backup? Tough guy.
Red faction!
Who's yelling Red Faction? Is there somebody here? Are they behind the door? I hear combat noises. Namely grunting.
Help!
So, I guess these guys got gunned down. I have to say, so far, this game's not doing much of a good job of instilling much confidence in Red Faction itself, because every Red Faction member we've seen so far has gotten punked out, like, in 3 seconds. Ooh, Crusher. Stay off conveyor belt. That sounds like a challenge. Is that the way I'm supposed to go, or is that an alternate way? Does this door open? It does. Owie. Okay, you know what? I am gonna go through the Crusher. Fuck it. Doesn't appear to be any checkpoints, though. Do I just have to manually save? Space required 478 KB. That's actually a lot for a PS2 game. A lot of games, it's like 16 KB or like 32. I think the most I've ever seen a PS2 game take is Draken, the Ancient's Gates, which typically takes, it varies depending on where you are, of course, but it typically takes over 1 megabyte, which on an 8 megabyte card is kind of amazing. It's actually a very interesting game.
Where's my backup?
Wow, even at point blank, firing quickly is too much spread. Okay. I want to look at the Crusher, though. Oh, yeah, that looks like it'd hurt. Although it also doesn't look like it would be a very effective Crusher because it's moving the wrong direction. Shouldn't it be moving things to the space between the rollers so that they're getting pinched? I mean, I guess the way it's going, it'd just crush them against the walls, but then you don't have as continuous downward motion as if they were both pushing downward together. Point is, the rollers were going the wrong way. Oh, come on. I was gonna sneak up on this guy. Apparently that's not a thing. I was under the impression the Control Baton was non-lethal, but I just noticed when I hit guys with it, there's big puffs of blood. So apparently it doesn't knock them out. It just murders the fuck out of them.
Remember every dead miner, every injustice, and strike back.
How can I remember every dead miner? I just got here.
Freedom.
Mercy, please!
I mean, my character didn't, but I did. I don't actually know how many people have died. I mean, this guy's definitely dead.
Mercy, please!
I'm really yearning for a shotgun right about now.
Emergency in Mine M4. Security level 1 response required.
Oh, that's right, I can break glass. I don't know why I didn't just do that. It's apparently locked.
Mercy!
Oh, oh, wow. The load screens are a bit jarring. Now it really feels like Half-Life.
Parker, you don't know me, but my name's Hendrix and I want to help you.
Okay, Jimmy.
I'm a security technician with Altor. I have my own reasons for hating them and wanting to help you.
I can pretty much assume what your reasons for hating Altor are.
Only miner from M4 to make it this far.
Yeah, I noticed. They're all dying like bitches.
Be careful, Parker. Altor's rushing forces in to block the mines and keep the rebellion from spreading.
Okay, unfortunately, crouching requires me to hold the button, which is probably why it was on the shoulders instead of the face buttons, because making it a face button means it's the same thumb that I aim with. So I'm having to hold it with my index finger and aim with my thumb. Well... Oh, yeah, they do notice me. Okay. Oh, I think somebody just got crunched by that vehicle.
They're killing everyone! Help! Help!
Why are you all dying so quickly? My god, guys. I'd be more willing to help you if you didn't seem so utterly pathetic. My god, man, hold still.
Attention, all personnel. Mine M4 will be sealed in 5 minutes. All personnel are required to
that vehicle has guns.
immediately.
I do have a rocket launcher, though. Don't know how many rockets it's going to take to kill this thing. But more than I could survive to do. I'm going to interject here from the future because I noticed in editing it might come across as very strange that I didn't just blow up this bridge, because clearly there's a big-ass vehicle going across it, and, you know, it's a spindly, thin little bridge over a chasm. And indeed, if you blow up the bridge, the vehicle falls into the chasm and you don't have to fight it in the next room, which is clearly what you're supposed to do, because if you don't, the vehicle just hands your ass to you in seconds because it's much more powerful than you. I didn't realize that the vehicle and I were going to the same place, because it's a group of enemies down there on a path I can't even get to, and I'm up here on a catwalk going somewhere else entirely. So I was under the impression at the time that the units down on that bridge were effectively just scenery. Because games will do that sometimes. They'll put units out in the distance to give you the sensation that the conflict is larger than you personally are seeing. And so I kind of figured that's what was going on here, that they're just units off in the distance going somewhere else. And there's really nothing to suggest that that door they're going through and this door I'm going through even lead to the same place. I mean, for all I knew, this could curve that way, and the one I'm going through could curve that way. Like, I didn't even realize that if I didn't blow up the bridge here, I would have to face it later. My inclination instead was to sneak past them, and that's why you saw me crouching and moving slowly here. Because I thought if I just sneaked past them, we'd each go our separate ways, and that would be that. It's a shame I didn't realize this, because this is one of the very, very, very few times the game does anything even remotely meaningful with its destruction, because there are huge swaths of this game, hours at a time, where you don't actually blow anything up, when the whole reason they built this engine was for amazing terrain deformation, actual real-time manipulation of geometry, and then they just don't really do anything with it. So this notion here early in the game of if you take out a bridge, you don't have to fight a tough enemy, that is a really interesting and meaningful usage of the destruction mechanics, and I completely missed it because the way it was set up, I didn't even realize there was a good reason to do that, because I had no clue I would otherwise be facing that vehicle. Obviously, the vehicles are long gone, so I'm going to load up a save here so I can actually show you that happening, because it's actually pretty cool. And again, at the time this game was new, I would have thought it was the coolest thing ever to be able to do this. And then here in 2022, of course it's 2024 now, but when I recorded this in 2022, I missed it.
I've been watching the riots on security monitors. You're the only one in board to make it this far.
Of course it takes more than one shot, because the blast radius of the rocket launcher is not that big. But yeah, there we go. And the guy just ran down the hole. That's great. And it explodes when it hits the bottom. It is really unfortunate that this is one of very few good showcases of the destruction mechanics. And it's cool that it's early in the game, if you don't miss it like an idiot the way I did. But unfortunately, they don't actually do that much of this, where there's a meaningful usage of it. You could choose to play the game firing rockets everywhere and blowing chunks out of the environment, except that the problem there, as you'll see, is the game doesn't actually give you that much rocket ammo. It's not like you can use this thing as if it were your primary weapon for most of the game, which would be really fun, but they don't do that, so you end up using conventional small arms, which is boring as shit. One thing they give you tons of is these fucking remote charges. You could choose to go around blowing up the environment with these a whole bunch, like all over the game, but there's no meaningful reason to do it because it's not necessarily faster or more efficient than just shooting the enemies with a gun. What's different here is that this actually is meaningfully more efficient than facing the vehicle on foot for real. Because as you saw, it survives several rockets, direct hits, and does a lot of damage. Whereas all the other places I can just like throw these charges around, and it's cool that it blows out chunks of the environment, but there's really no reason to do that. And it's also not very fun to do because the big downside of these remote charges is it takes 3,000 years to use one. So let's say I have a pistol out, and I want to like, I don't know, let's say there's a wall I want to blow open. So I have to scroll to these, pull them out. That takes a bit. Then I gotta throw it. And then I gotta pull out this detonator. And pulling out the detonator takes fucking forever. So then you throw another one. And then you can fire it. Then you throw another one. And then you can detonate it. Like there's this huge delay between throwing it and actually being able to detonate it. And then you have to switch back to your other weapon to, say, shoot the enemy that's on the other side of the door. It's just too slow to be useful. If, on the other hand, we could throw one of those det packs, let's say I could have a gun out like this pistol, and then there was a button where just pressing that button threw out a det pack, and then that button also detonated it. So I could both throw and detonate these det packs while still having a gun out. That would change everything. That would make the entire game feel different because I would have done much more with explosives, blown out walls and stuff instead of going through doors and around. But when it's so inconvenient to scroll to these, wait for it to come out, throw it, wait for the detonator, detonate it, wait to bring it back out, and then switch back to your other weapon and wait for it to draw, it's just too clunky for me to give a shit. Probably should have saved. It would seem this game does not have any checkpoints. I guess it's manual saves only. Which would make sense if this was a PC game and I could... Failed to load game. What do you mean? How do you fail to load... that? What? I think that's the first time I've ever seen a PS2 fail to load a save. Like in my entire life. Failed to load game. Okay. Well, I'll try it one more time. And then I guess I will assume the save is corrupted. Or possibly this game doesn't like the particular type of memory card I'm using because I am using a third-party one, although I've never had problems with it. So if this doesn't load, which indeed it's not going to, we have a bit of a problem. I guess what I'm going to do, start a new game, and then when I'm in the game, I'm going to make a save and try to load it. And if that one also doesn't work, I'm going to try a different memory card. And if a different memory card also doesn't work, I think I'm shit out of luck. Because this game does not have a continue option. If it kicks you to the menu when you die, you have to be able to save it. Get good, scrub. I'm going to overwrite this one, because clearly it doesn't work. Save failed. Okay, delete that one. It's deleted successfully. New save. Save failed. Let me try a different card. Okay. This is a different card. Game saved. Okay. If I load it, does it work? So why did my first save work? And then like every time after that, it just failed. That's very odd. Now I'm wondering, is that card just bad? Or does this game, specifically Red Faction, not like that card? Oh, yep, this one loaded. Okay. And that animation restarted even though it was over when I saved. Odd. Okay, so it looks like this card works. For whatever reason, the game does not like that other memory card. Even though I've been using that other card for years without trouble. So hopefully it's just this game and not that that card has gone bad, because that would suck. Although there isn't actually much on that other card, so it wouldn't be the end of the world if it's now corrupted or whatever. Oh god, I didn't even see you. Oh, that's a lot of dudes. I'd appreciate it if you all came at me one at a time. Make my job a lot easier.
Let's get
think I am gonna have to turn auto-aim back on.
Follow me!
It's just fidgety enough that it's hard to hit these guys. So it feels like I'm missing when I shouldn't be. Sometimes. I mean, I am actually doing a really bad job at aiming, because it's very twitchy.
We're with the Red Faction.
Uh-huh, yeah, and you're gonna die instantly.
We're heading to the Red Faction base.
Yeah, you're heading to the Red Faction base, and you're gonna get annihilated like complete noobs. Or you're not even gonna get up the ramp, because you're a complete noob. Come on. Yep, I heard you die. That was satisfying.
Find the Red Faction members among you. Join us and strike back at Ultor.
Okay, am I crazy, but is the voice of Eos the female Argonians from Oblivion? I think it is. I could be horribly wrong about that. And in fact, I probably am, but... It's got a harshness to it that sort of sounds like the, Oh, that doesn't go anywhere. I don't know why I thought it would, because, I mean, it was higher than I can jump. It's got a harshness to it that's kind of annoying here, but is actually appropriate for a lizard person.
Every time I pass by that woman's house, I hear odd animal noises and smell a foul odor.
Miners, this is Eos, leader of the Red Faction.
What do we have through these? Missed completely. Man, it takes a long time to pull that detonator out. I think this is a room I've been in. No, it's just a room with a mining robot in it. Can I blow you up? Yes, I can.
You help me reach the shuttle and I'll make sure they take you along.
I just realized I haven't tried fine aim mode yet, and that's it. You can't move, because now the left stick is also aim. It's left or right. So you can't move while doing it. And it makes the crosshair move independently of the screen. Again, sort of like GoldenEye, where you could aim in GoldenEye and it would just move the crosshair on screen, which is really outdated. I think we quickly realized that's not a good way to handle aiming, and it's much better if the crosshair is always in the same place on screen.
Come on, tough.
So I appreciate the slight zoom, but it's actually harder to aim that way. Because it's unorthodox. It's just not what we're used to, because modern games have just adopted and stuck to the crosshair is fixed on the screen.
What time you got here?
You'll be remembered. Oh my god, I hate this pistol so much. I gotta say, my enthusiasm for this game is fading because this pistol is so frustrating. It's so fucking inaccurate unless I fire really slowly. This is all kind of underwhelming at the moment. I'm sure it'll pick up when I get a better gun. But at the moment, I'm really bummed out having to use this thing. We have a bit of a slow start going on here. Okay, so what I need to check next is if my recoil is less severe if I'm in fine aim mode. I think it might be. Oh yeah, there's none. Okay. So if I do this, they scatter all over the place. If I fine aim, yeah, okay. So it's less about being easier to aim and more about it makes recoil not a thing. I like when they crouch, because they crouch straight into headshot position. Wasn't there another one? Oh, yep, there he is. I see like 3 pixels flickering. Where's the vehicle? Was it not going to come through this time? What?
All
Well, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
required to evacuate immediately.
I'm liking this moodier synth stuff the music's doing. It's already over, though. It's just a short little bit of flavor, which is fine. But if that's going to end up being quite sparse, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed. God, could this be any more of a pain in the ass? Ugh.